Let's start with the second lecture. White and orange. Okay. Now, where did we stop last class? I think we did discovery of neutrons, discovery of protons, discovery of electrons, and then we did Thomson's experiment. Barabar? Okay. Now pay attention everyone. Let's continue with atomic terms. What was the number? Atomic term number? 4, 5, anyone? Fifth one. Okay. So the next atomic term that we have is called as isotones, or they're also called as isoneutronic species. So people, what do you mean by isotones or isoneutronic? Elements containing same number of neutrons. So pay attention please over here. What do we have, people? Same number, of neutrons. We'll just write keywords, okay? Let's take an example. Let's say I have sodium, atomic number 11, atomic mass number 23, please pay attention. Magnesium, someone please give me the atomic number. 12 and atomic mass number is 24. Chalo, let's calculate the number of neutrons. Kaise calculate karenge people? Can someone tell me what is 23 over here? That's the atomic and Z atomic number is. To find the number of neutrons, how do you find number of neutrons? Is A minus Z. Atomic number minus atomic mass number. 23 minus 11 is 12, and this is also 12. Easy. So same number of neutrons, such species are called as neutronic, isoneutronic species, or they are called as isotones. Any questions over here, people? Chalo. Now the next atomic term that we have is called as Isoelectronic species. Can someone guess and tell me what do you think is isoelectronic? Same number of electrons. Let's take an example. Can someone give me the number of protons over here? Or basically I'm just trying to ask their atomic number. So number of protons or atomic number in carbon, jaldi. 6. Nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, and aluminium. These are the number of protons that they are. Now in a neutral atom, number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. But is this neutral? No. What do you mean by carbon with a -4? It has gained 4 electrons. So how many number of electrons will there be over here? 6 plus 4, that is, anyone who did not understand this? But what about here in N3 minus 7 plus 3, even that will be 10. 8 plus 2, 10. 9 plus 1. What about here neon mein? Why? Because it is neutral. Now Na plus, when does an atom get a positive charge? Cation kab ban jata hai? When it loses an electron. So if the number of electrons in neutral sodium is 11, Na plus will be 10. 10. I think people get the point. So what are isoelectronic species? You tell me. Same number of electrons. That's the next atomic term. Chalo, next. Next we have something called as Isosters. Now what do you mean by isosters? I'll explain with an example. Let's say I have CO, CO stands for carbon monoxide, and I have N2. Now, number of atoms. So in CO, how many atoms are there, people? 2. How 2? One atom of carbon, the other of. In N2, number of atoms 2. With me? And now count for me number of electrons. How many electrons are there in carbon? 6. Oxygen, people? 6 plus 8. How many electrons are there in nitrogen? But there are 2 atoms. Now can someone define for me what are isosters? Species having same number of and same number of electrons. So species having same number of atoms and same number of electrons. Did you people get that? That was the next atomic term. चलो इसके बाद वाला we have Isodiaphers. We'll again understand isodiaphers with the help of an example. I have, what is this T13? Anyone can tell me what is this? Tritium. Anyone knows what tritium is? Isotope of hydrogen. Hydrogen isotopes पता है किसी को, people? Hydrogen isotopes. We have hydrogen, deuterium and tritium. All of them have atomic number, but mass number. This is called as hydrogen. This is also called as protium. So protium, deuterium and tritium. I hope everyone knows this. Now, so I have tritium, I have lithium. Quickly give me the atomic number of lithium. 3. Nitrogen, atomic number please.
7.
And fluorine, atomic number please.
9.
ठीक है, चलो first thing, in all of them can you people give me number of protons? I repeat, in all of them I want number of protons. Tritium में how many people? 1. Lithium. Excellent. Next, give me the number of neutrons.
2.
How do I find number of neutrons? Atomic mass number minus atomic number. 3 minus 1. Jaldi, jaldi.
2, 4, 8, 10.
Okay. Now what we are doing is we are finding the difference between number of neutrons and the number of protons. Kya bola people? It's the difference between the number of neutrons and the number of protons. Can someone give me the difference between the number of neutrons and protons here? 2 minus 1. So what are isodiaphers? Species having same difference in the number of neutrons and protons. Did you will get that? So now give me the set of all the atomic terms. We started with atomic number, atomic mass number, isotope, isobar, isotones, isoelectronic species, isoelectronic, isosters and isodiaphers. Did you people get that? Any questions here, anyone? Chalo. Jaldi, jaldi. Okay. So we have some questions on board. Let's discuss these. Let's start with the first one. NH3 and BH3 are isoelectronic with. People, what do you mean by isoelectronic? Containing same number of electrons. So I need to first find the number of electrons in ammonia. So can someone tell me how many electrons are there in nitrogen?
7.
7. And hydrogen?
1 each.
So this will be like 7 plus 3, 10 electrons. What about BH3?
5 plus.
Boron has 5, again 5 plus 3, 8. So how much is that total, people?
18.
So we are looking for how many electrons? 18 electrons. NH3 is what? Ammonia. BH3 is borane. You can write that Borane, borane. We will study that in P block elements. Borane. Now let's calculate here in B2H6. Boron is 5, 5 plus 2, 10, 6 hydrogens. So how much is that in total, people? 16. B2H6 is called as diborane. You can look at B2H6 like BH3 twice. Okay, it's called as diborane. Next, what is C2H6?
12 plus 6.
Nomenclature for C2H6? Ethane hai wo. So count here for me. Carbon is 6. 6 to the 12. Hydrogen is 6. So kitna ho gaya total, people? And this is the answer. Did you people get that? Okay. How many of you got this? Okay. Next, second wala. Calculate protons and neutrons. I think you people can calculate this. Jaldi, jaldi. Protons. 6, 8, 12, 26 and 38. We're just writing the atomic number. And neutrons, 13 minus 6, 7, 8, 12, 30 na? 30. And what about here? 50. Anyone who don't get that, how we did this? Chalo, theek hai. The isotone of germanium 77, 32. How do you find isotones? Same number of neutrons. So how many neutrons were there here in germanium?
45.
77 minus 32 is 45. ये तो सेम ही लिख दिया मैंने. Can this be the answer? Right? I've written the same element, right? Germanium 77, 32, germanium 77, 32. Is that the isotone? So, second wala, the elements have to differ, right? Different elements. What about here? 77 minus 33. How much is that? 44. So, number of neutrons here is 44. Nope, that's not the answer. What about here? 77 minus 34. 43. Is that the answer? कोई भी आंसर मैच नहीं कर रहा है यहाँ पे तो. 78 and 34. How much is that? 4 and 4. 44, right? Pardon me, मैंने कुछ डेटा ही गलत लिखा है. Can option A be the answer? Because it is different elements having the same number of neutrons. ठीक है? Okay. I'll again check the data for this and rectify कर देंगे, नहीं तो किसी एक में चीटिंग करके हम खुद ही वैल्यू चेंज कर देते हैं to get the answer. चलो, give the relation between these. Anyone who got the relation between the first one? क्या है relation? Isosters. They are isosters. Are they only isosters? They also have the same number of electrons but same number of atoms भी. Isosters, isoelectronic भी हम बोल सकते हैं उन्हें. Next, what about the second one? Same. They are isosters and isoelectronic. Same number of electrons. Count करना है. Calcium, number of electrons in calcium, people, 20. Oxygen, 28. Number of electrons in potassium, 19. Fluorine, 9. 28. Same. Easy. What was the last one? Relation between isotope. Again, these are isoelectronic. Why? Number of electrons in argon, 18. Number of electrons in chlorine is 17, but this is chlorine anion. So 17 plus 1, this is also. Number of electrons in fluorine is 9, but though fluorine ka atom, so that is also 18. Did you people get that? Chalo, next. Now I want you to, did you copy the last question, people? Copy kar lo. In case if you have not done, then we'll discuss the last question. Meanwhile, बाकी का clear कर दूं? Chalo, let's discuss the question. Still copying, जल्दी जल्दी copy कर लो. Okay, so carbon contains isotopes 12 and 13, and oxygen contains isotopes 16, 17, 18. How many different CO2 molecules can we form? ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है. So what are they trying to ask? See, I have carbon, CO2 के लिए I have carbon, oxygen and oxygen. Which is the first isotope of oxygen? Oxygen 16. And first isotope of carbon? So the first CO2 molecule can be made from the carbon 12 isotope, and oxygen का कौन सा isotope we can use? 16 and 16. So they are trying to ask how many such different combinations are possible. Second, I can take the same carbon 12 isotope, but instead of oxygen 16, I can take oxygen 17. Can someone give me the third combination? Give me the next combination. I can have carbon 12, oxygen 16 and oxygen 17. Then I can have carbon 12, oxygen 17 and oxygen 18. I can again have carbon 12, oxygen 16, but now with oxygen. So with C12, only these combinations are possible. C12 के साथ. And 16, 17 and 18 can be arranged in these formats. But read the last line for me. Report their molecular weight. So what's the molecular weight here? How will I find the molecular weight? 12 plus 16 plus 16. How much is that? 44. What about the next one? 17 plus 7, 46. 48. 45. बराबर. This is एक कम हो गया, एक ज़्यादा हो गया. 47. बराबर है. 47. 12 plus 9, 17, 29. Yes. And give me the last one, people. 12 plus 18 and sorry. Now this was with carbon 12 isotope. Same ही को अगर मैं copy paste कर दूँ with carbon, but instead of 12, if I have carbon 13. 13. So these will be the combinations for carbon 13 isotope. So what is the total number? Total possible CO2s? Did you people get that? Jaldi, jaldi. Okay. So the first question that we have says an element with mass number 81 contains 31.7% more neutrons as compared to protons. Find the element. So what we do here is we start with, let's say the number of protons be x. So the number of protons are x. How many neutrons are there? What have they said? 31.7% more neutrons when compared to protons. So number of neutrons कितने हो गए people?
X plus 31.7.
31.7% more neutrons. So x plus 7% of x. I don't know if people are getting that. How will you write 31.7%? We can write it as 31.7 upon 100. So what will this become? X plus 0.317x. तो total कितना हो गया people? 1.317x. Anyone who did not get this? Any point as well? But that's not the question. Question क्या बोलता है people? What do we have to find? Find the element. What data they have given us? What is the mass number? Mass number is 81. What can I write mass number? It is the sum of number of protons plus number of neutrons. So that is 81. How many protons do we have? X. How many neutrons do we have? So कितना हो गया people ये? 2.317x is equal to 81. So x is 81 by 2.317. You'll solve this and you'll find the approximate value for me. Did you people get this? Yes or no? Do you want me to give the hint for the next one? Chalo. Let's read the next question. What does it say? An ion with mass number 37 contains 1 unit of negative charge. If the ion contains 11.1% more neutrons than electrons, find the symbol of the ion. Same method hai. More or less we are doing the same thing. Wapas, how will we start people? Let the number of protons be x. Can someone tell me if the number of protons are x, how many electrons are there in that ion?
X plus 1 since it contains negative charge.
They have said that it contains 1 unit of negative charge. So if let's say the element is X, the actually ion that we have here is X minus because it has gained an electron. How many electrons will there be?
X plus 1.
X plus 1. Anyone who did not get that? आगे क्या बोला है? If the ion contains 11.1% more neutrons than electrons. Similarly, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे ढूंढा था number of neutrons. Can someone tell me how will I write the number of neutrons over here? 11.1% more electrons. How many electrons are there?
X plus 1
X plus 1 plus 11.1% of that. With me? Is equal to X plus 1 plus 11.1% can be written as 11.1 over 100 into X plus 1. So how much will that be? X plus 1 plus 0.111 into X plus 1. Open the bracket here. 0.111 X plus 0. So finally, how many neutrons are there? X plus 0.111 X is 1 plus 0.111 is. These are the number of neutrons. Number of protons and number of electrons are here. And what have they given us? Mass number is 37. So क्या करेंगे? How will you use that value? Mass number 37. I repeat, how will you use that value?
Number of protons plus number of neutrons is equal to
Same thing फिर से लिखेंगे, number of protons plus number of neutrons is equal to 37. How many protons are there? X plus how many neutrons are there? 1.111 x plus 1 point. Please solve this and give me x. यहाँ पे भी solve करो and give me x. So people, the answer for the first one is x is 35. Which element is that? With atomic number 35 we have bromine. The answer for the second one is x is approximately 0.
17.
X is 17 and the element for that is fluorine. That's so simple. लक्ष्य क्या हो गया रे? एकदम खुश है. हाँ? चलो. Write down a similar question as homework. I want you people to try this. An ion with mass number 56 contains 3 units of positive charge. Contains 3 units of positive charge and 30.4% more neutrons than electrons. More neutrons than electrons. Find the element. चलो, नाउ पीपल, वो आप घर पे करना. ये क्वेश्चन करने का एक और मेथड था. Probably I think easier, but instead of doing itna pura, what was the number of neutrons that we got? How many neutrons were there? 1 point plus 1.111. These were the number of neutrons. Okay. What is the mass number that we have? 37. And how many protons we have? X. So now give me the number of neutrons. If the mass number is 37 and the atomic number is X, so number of neutrons will be 37 minus X. Getting that? तो ये इतना लिखने की जरूरत नहीं होती थी. Though we'll come to the same conclusion. यहाँ पे है. But number of neutrons on left and right also I have number of neutrons. So ये जो question करेंगे आप दोनों मेथड से ट्राई करना. Okay? चलो, let's continue. Please write down. Dual nature of light. dual nature of light, which is wave nature of light, board पे लिखा है, and particle nature of light. Chalo. Now, people till 10th standard, I think we've learned only wave nature of light. 10th standard, you people had the chapter light. ठीक है? What were the different concepts in light? या optics का कोई chapter था 10th standard में? वो lens का. There we use wave nature of light. You people have done interference, diffraction. Okay. Now there are certain concepts. If you want to understand, we take the wave nature of light to explain these fundamentals. The most common is interference. We'll study interference in physics. In order to study interference pattern developed, we have to use wave nature of light. Young's double slit experiment ऐसे भी कुछ किया क्या physics में अभी तक? Then diffraction, reflection, diffraction. To study these concepts, we use something called as wave nature. Then in 11th standard, we'll study something called as particle nature of light to explain certain concepts such as photoelectric effect. We cannot use the traditional wave nature. It cannot explain photoelectric effect or black body radiation. And some more fundamentals. We cannot use the wave nature of light. We use something called as the particle nature of light to study this. Are you people getting that? Particle nature of light will explain how light also behaves like a particle. So depending upon the condition, light sometimes behaves like a wave or sometimes it starts behaving like a particle. आज first nature पढ़ेंगे, which is wave nature of light. Okay, चलो. Now, let's say कि I have a simple sinusoidal wave बनाते हैं. ठीक है? Now, people, the maximum displacement from mean position. What do you call the maximum displacement from mean position as? इसको हम बोलते हैं amplitude. So, if it is above, let's say the x-axis, we'll call it as the positive amplitude. यहाँ पे नीचे बनाएंगे तो what do we call that as? Negative amplitude. I think ये basic है, हमने किया till 10th standard. What are these called as? Louder. These are crests. What about this? Rough. Now, if I go from one point in the wave to the exact same point, what is this called as, people? It's called as the wavelength. What's the symbol for wavelength? Can someone give me the symbol for wavelength? Is lambda. इतना क्या है हमने? Now, the number of waves in 1 second is called as the frequency. we'll write all these parameters. ठीक है, सबसे पहले हमने क्या लिखा people? We wrote, pardon me, amplitude. Then we wrote about, then we discussed wavelength. The number of waves per second is called as frequency. Time taken to complete one wavelength is called as time period. We'll write all these definitions now. All these parameters were there till 10th standard. एक एक्स्ट्रा पैरामीटर है वेव नंबर. This is, I think, done for the first time. Wave number is number of waves per unit length. ठीक है, I repeat, wave number is the number of waves per unit length. And last we have wave velocity, which in atomic structure we'll be talking about electromagnetic radiation. And for electromagnetic radiation, what is the wave velocity? It is the velocity or the speed of light. Can anyone give me the speed of light? 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second. What is the symbol for amplitude? Just use A. Wavelength ka symbol, people? Lambda. Frequency ka symbol over here will be using, this is pronounced nu. There are various other symbols. Till 10th standard हमने क्या symbol पढ़ा है frequency का? I think F, N. The reason we're using nu is because we'll be dealing with electromagnetic radiation. Next, time period is given as capital T. Wave number, people, is given by nu bar. This is read as nu bar. And wave velocity is given by the symbol C. Getting that? So first, please draw the diagram for me, and then we'll write each and every parameter. Please write down the first wave term, amplitude. Can someone define amplitude for me? Maximum displacement from mean position. Maximum displacement from mean position is amplitude. Maximum displacement from mean position is amplitude. It also determines the intensity of the wave. It also determines the intensity of the wave. Second, so what's the second atomic term, people? Wavelength. How do you define wavelength? Right now, it is the distance between. It is the distance between two nearest crests or troughs. Yes, it is the distance between two nearest crests or trough. It can also be defined as distance between two common points on the wave. Distance between two common points on the wave. Okay, now people give me the units for wavelength. The first unit, people, that you should know is this is read as angstrom. 1 angstrom, people, is 10 to the power minus 10 meters. Or if I write the same in centimeters, how much will that be? 10 to the power minus 8 centimeters. Because 1 meter is, people, 100 centimeters. Or you can have the unit in 1 nanometer. How much is that, people? 10 to the power minus 9 meters. In centimeters, I will write that as, एक दो और लिख के रख देते हैं, 1 picometer. How much is a pico?
minus 12.
10 to power minus 12 meters, or 10 raised to minus 10 centimeters. ठीक है, आई थिंक ये किया था फिजिक्स में, बट फिर से प्लीज कॉपी दिस जल्दी जल्दी. I'm so sorry. Both. Usually we never write 10 raised to minus 10. Majority times wavelength will be given in the form of angstrom. Done, people? Next item, frequency. Frequency. It is defined as the number of waves. It's defined as the number of waves passing through a point in 1 second. Can someone give me the units of frequency?
1/1 second.
Or second inverse, or it's also written as hertz, or CPS. CPS stands for cycles per second, or RPM. You guys can give me RPM. Rotations or revolutions per minute. Yeah, revolutions per second. चलो जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी. Done. What's the relation between frequency and wavelength? Inversely proportional. Frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional to each other. Next, after frequency we have time period. Please copy time period. Can someone define time period for me?
Amount of time required.
Time taken to complete one wavelength. Time taken to complete one wavelength. Right, and time period is equal to, or time period is inversely proportional to frequency. T is inversely proportional to frequency. Done. Next, write down wave number. Wave number. Number of waves. Number of waves per unit length. Wave number, people, is equal to 1 upon lambda. Is 1 upon lambda. Last, write on wave velocity. Nothing but velocity of the wave. For electromagnetic radiation, we take it as the speed of light. Speed of light, c, is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second, or 3 into 10 to power 10 centimeters per second. Please write down relation between and copy the formula on the board. Wave velocity, frequency and wavelength. इतना copy करना. Once you're done copying the formula, please copy the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, so what you have on board is the electromagnetic spectrum, which starts from cosmic rays, then gamma, then X-rays, then UV. Now between UV and infrared is that very small part of the spectrum which is visible to us, which is the visible range. So out of the entire electromagnetic spectrum that we have, what we can actually see is just this small part, which goes Vibgyor. I think everyone knows that. All you have to do is you just have to remember thoda sa the starting wavelength to the last wavelength of the visible range. You don't have to remember for all the colors. And then we have infra. Infra, we have something also called as deep infra, but sab infrared ही लिख दिया. Then we have microwaves और उसके आगे पूरा it's radio. So long range and short range होता है, but radio waves याद रखेंगे तो भी चलेगा. Last point, as you go from left to right, what happens to wavelength? The wavelength increases, but what happens to frequency? That decreases. Or you can remember it the opposite way. As you go from right to left, what happens to the wavelength? It decreases and the frequency increases. Okay? So we stop here for the day. After wave nature of light, we are going to now do numericals on wave nature of light, and then we move on to particle nature of light. Particle nature of the light is the most important part of the chapter. Okay? So I'll see you people next class.